In the early 1900s, a man named John W. Satterfield built himself a dream house in the affluent neighborhood of Westfield, New Jersey. It was everything he could have ever wanted, with 21 rooms overlooking a beautiful garden. Unfortunately, his dream house would soon become a nightmare. After he had just finished construction, he began to receive disturbing letters from an unknown person who called themselves the Watcher. In the letter, the Watcher claimed to have been watching the house for years and that they knew every move he made. They also threatened that once he moved in, they would start to take away everything he loved one by one until all he had left was his life, and then they would take that too. Of course, he tried to just ignore the letters, but they kept coming, even after he installed security cameras and changed his phone number. And what's even more bizarre is that there were no windows or doors leading to the house from the street. So how was the Watcher able to spy on him? Terrified and confused, John decided to move out and rent the house instead. But the Watcher seemed to know his every move and would always show up just as he predicted. After 3 years of torment, John finally sold the house. But the next owner didn't fare much better either. And neither did the next or the next after that. All received the same threatening letters, along with mysterious packages containing things like dead animals and bullets. At some point, the town became so afraid of the house that they held a town hall meeting where they agreed to tear it down if the owner didn't do it himself. When the house was demolished, workers found a secret passageway that led from the basement to an underground tunnel. But it went nowhere. Today, John's descendants have put a stop to any future construction and have kept the property vacant. The story may sound ridiculous, but there's evidence to suggest it may very well be true. Newspaper clippings from the time period tell the story of a man being tormented by a mystery writer, and the local police have even opened an investigation into the disappearance of John. So who was the Watcher and what happened to them? Unfortunately, the case remains unsolved and the house still creeps people out to this day. The Watcher house may not be real, but there are plenty of homes that are just as creepy. Just ask Helen Acton, the woman who used to live at 385 Boulevard in Niagara, New York. Before she purchased the Victorian mansion, she had no idea that it was sitting on top of a Native American burial ground. As soon as she moved in, strange things started happening. She heard voices whispering her name and saw shadows moving around the house. One night, she even woke up to find a ghostly figure standing over her bed. Of course, she tried to just brush it off, but the activity only got worse. She soon realized that there were 14 rooms in the house, which was perfect because that's how many children she was going to have. Okay, maybe not that part. But while she was pregnant, she started having visions of a little girl dressed in old-fashioned clothes. She would walk through the house crying, which was odd because Helen had never seen her before. And when Helen gave birth, she noticed something strange about her baby. He had the exact same birthmark as the ghost girl she had seen in her vision. Shortly after, she had 2 more children, both girls, and they also had matching birthmarks. Helen soon realized that she was living in a vortex of energy and that the spirits of the children were reaching out to her across time. They had been buried beneath the house and were trying to tell her that their father had killed them. But before she could do anything about it, one of the spirits possessed her youngest daughter and wouldn't let her go. One day, Helen and her husband went out to dinner, and when they came back, they found the house ransacked and their daughter missing. To this day, no trace of her has ever been found. Some believe that the spirit of the little girl finally got the revenge she was looking for by taking Helen's daughter and trapping her in the vortex of energy that surrounds the house. But it's not the only house that's haunted by angry spirits. Take, for example, the Whaley House in San Diego, California. Before it was turned into a museum, it was home to Thomas Whaley, a successful businessman and criminal. He bought the house with his wife and 8 children, but he soon realized that something wasn't right. He would hear disembodied footsteps in the middle of the night, and sometimes he would even see apparitions walking through the halls. It didn't help that the house was rumored to be haunted by the ghosts of those who died during construction. But Tommy wasn't scared. Instead, he embraced it. He welcomed the ghosts into his home and treated them like family, And strangely enough, nothing ever happened to him or his family. When he passed away, though, his widow and children started hearing disembodied voices and seeing shadowy figures. It got so bad that they had to lock their bedroom door at night. That is, until Thomas's son took matters into his own hands. One day he opened the locked door to investigate, and that's when things got really scary. He started hearing chains dragging metal moans, and he even saw the ghost of a man dragging himself closer and closer. Then suddenly the apparition stopped, reached out its hand and touched his shoulder. Of course, Thomas ran out of the house screaming, never to return. Today, visitors to the house report feeling uneasy and hearing voices. Some have even reported being touched by an invisible hand, just like Thomas's son. But perhaps the most haunted house of all is the ancient Ram Inn in England. It was built in 1145 AD and has had a long and bloody history. Over the years, it's seen its fair share of tragedies, from plagues to murders to suicides. And that's why it's earned the nickname the House of Horrors. People have died here under such tragic circumstances that the energy of their pain is said to linger in the walls. It's also rumored that the inn sits on top of an ancient burial ground, and that some of the rooms were built over human sacrifices. It's no wonder that paranormal investigators consider this place to be the most haunted location in England. But hey, at least it's for rent. If you want to see for yourself, just be careful what you wish for. The same can be said for the Whaley House or the Watcher House, because sometimes the spirits aren't too friendly. But that's all for this video. Which house was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of This House is Creepy. Until next time, don't forget, I'll see you in the next one.